As teachers or learners in family medicine, you've been asking us to help define clear expectations in order to better guide learning and assessment. In fact, the College of Family Physicians requires us to have clear and specific objectives for residents in both years. These objectives must be consistent throughout the Department of Family Medicine, despite the varied training environments. All residents need to target the same endpoints, but we understand that how a resident gets there will vary slightly from environment to environment. Let's talk terms. The terms we use, like competencies, objectives, expectations, and benchmarks, are all interrelated. The expectations we have for residents are based on competencies. A competency is an observable and specific piece of knowledge, a skill, or an attitude or a behavior. An objective is what you're expecting will be accomplished during a specific learning period, say a rotation or an educational experience. Our benchmarks are essentially expectations for residents, expectations that should be met by the end of a specific training period, like the PGY1 or the PGY2 periods. Faculty and residents have been asking for tools to help define their educational plans with specific endpoints to make learning an active and deliberate process and to gauge resident performance. It's really important that these tools be for the department and by the department. Dozens of faculty and residents were involved at curriculum postgraduate retreats from 2011 onwards and through multiple surveys and consultative roadshows. The process was iterative. It's gone through more than 5 phases of editing based on faculty and resident input and critique. The forms for PGY1 and PGY2 are based on benchmarks that we would expect the resident to achieve by the end of those periods. The benchmarks were edited and aligned with existing educational frameworks recommended by the College of Family Physicians, including CanMeds FM and our department's curriculum framework. In total, more than 100 individuals from urban and rural, academic and community, French and English sites all contributed to defining and clarifying these expectations. The core family medicine benchmarks are intended to go into general circulation and use by July 2013. They represent where we expect a resident will be by the end of the PGY1 and PGY2 periods, respectively. Their components will form the basis of new evaluation forms. We'll be discussing this more in a minute. They also represent a tool that can be pulled out by residents or faculty at the start of a core family medicine rotation to discuss objectives. Let's take a brief look at the Core FM benchmark tool. We've used several categories that relate to the CanMeds FM roles that are a more natural set of related observable competencies. The 6 categories relate to what we expect of a resident. We expect them to be skilled at how they talk to patients and counsel them. We expect they have good knowledge and they know how to reason clinically. We expect that they work with others on the team. We expect solid clinical and technical skills. We expect they have good time management and can organize themselves and their practices well. And lastly, we expect they are professional and motivated and they understand good work-life balance. The criteria in the Core FM benchmarks guide us in assessing our residents and specifically describing their problems and proficiencies and possible learning plans.